let you understand this statement. Start your life with Python and end your life with Python. Very important statement. Why I am saying this statement, you will understand this going ahead. Start your life with Python, end your life with Python. You already know this is a Selenium with Python course. As a part of this particular course, we will be learning Python extensively, not only for automation testing, wherever you go, whether it is big data arena, data analysis, data science. Just learn the Python here, just go ahead and work directly anywhere. So I want to remind you one more time, start your life with Python, end your life with Python. Now, going ahead, this is what a basic introductory session of Selenium with Python course, very first session. In this very first session, we'll be discussing all the basics. Most of the people might be knowing, but even though you already know, I urge you to listen this patiently. Most of the people might be knowing, but some of the people might not be knowing as well. So it's my responsibility to cover from basics. Post this session, from tomorrow onwards, we'll be directly jumping into Python and going ahead Selenium frameworks. At last, we'll also discuss robot framework, Docker, Selenium grid as well. I'll be sharing syllabus document to you. Once this session is completed, I will also discuss that what are the things are there in the syllabus document. You can just go through that. Now, what is today's session? Just it's an overview on automation and Selenium. It's an overview, just an overview where you might be getting all important concepts. Most of the people, even though working in an IT industry, some of the people might not be knowing this terminology. It is very important. Those who want to pursue their career in automation testing. So what is today's agenda? So before going to start our concepts, we need to see what is our today's agenda. So first agenda is what is software testing? What is software testing? Post that, we will discuss what are the challenges in manual testing. We'll also discuss how an automation tool works. Post that, there are a lot of automation tools in the market, but out of a lot of automation tools, we'll see Selenium as a huge market exposure. So we'll discuss what is Selenium, advantages of Selenium. Post this, we will also discuss disadvantages of Selenium. Every tool will be having some limitations, so those also we need to discuss. Disadvantages of Selenium. Post this, at last, we need to discuss from where this Selenium WebDriver has been arrived. So we need to discuss this Selenium suite. So these are our today's concepts as a part of this agenda. So as a part of that, let me discuss what is software testing. What is software testing? So when I talk about what is software testing, most of the people, you already using this software. Whether you know the definition, you don't know the definition, most of the people every day you are using mobile. It's an Android software built on Linux. Similarly, the meeting application which you are attending to this particular demo session is nothing but a software. So most of the people might be knowing, might not be knowing what is a software. Let me make you understand what is a software. A software is a collection of computer programs. Collection of computer programs. Collection of computer programs. So why we need collection of computer programs? To do a specific task. That means designed. Why this software is designed? To do a specific task. to do a specific task. Let you take this Gmail application. So what this Gmail application is meant for? It is meant for a specific task. What is that specific task? With the help of that Gmail application, you can send meeting links. You can send mails. You can discuss anything you can do. So for a specific task or functions, a software is nothing but a collection of computer programs designed to do a specific task. This is what a definition of a software. Most of the people might not be knowing this. So you need to be aware of. Now, how many types of softwares available in the market? There are a lot of software, guys. Lot of softwares. We need to know how many types of software available in the market. Types of software available in the market. So most of the people are aware of this. What are the different types of softwares available in the market? System software. Post this, we also have programming softwares. Programming softwares. Post this, we also have application softwares. Application softwares. So these are different types of softwares available in the market. Coming to this system software, what is a system software? So it is primarily used for managing computer hardware. When I am saying system, it is nothing but a computer. So to manage computer hardware, we need system software. So that system software is primarily used for managing computer hardware. So very, very important thing, guys. System software, programming software, application software, as a part of that, system software primarily manages computer hardware. Yes, at the end of the day, you need to control hardware. To control hardware, you need to communicate to hardware. So for communicating to hardware, you need a software. That software is nothing but a system software. Then what are the different types of system softwares available in the market? You might be knowing most thing. If you want to run any application, you need drivers, device drivers. Post this, where you will run these device drivers on the operating systems. Operating systems. Similarly, you also have servers. Servers is also a type of system software. You also have utilities. These are different types of system softwares available in the market. So they are primarily meant for managing computer hardware. For managing computer hardware, you need a collection of computer programs. That collection of computer programs, I can say it is a system software. Now, what is a programming software? This name itself says programming. Who does programming? Developer does programming. So to help developers in creating, testing, debugging softwares, we need programming softwares. So these programming softwares helps developers. Programmers are nothing but developers, even though not only developers, automation test engineers are also nothing but developers. Testers are developers. Automation engineers, I can call them as with a simple word, developers. At the end of the day, after learning this particular course, you will be able to code anything with respect to Python using Selenium WebDriver tool. You are also a developer. So when I talk about these programming softwares helps developers for what they meant for: creating, testing, and debugging software applications. For doing all these actions, you need programming softwares. Now, what are the different types of programming softwares available in the market? Most of the people, you have already heard these names. Compilers. What these compilers will do, if you are having 100 errors in your code, compiler will throw all 100 errors during runtime. Post this, you also have interpreters. What these interpreters will do? Interpreters, when you write a code, it will check line by line. After checking line by line, if there is any issue, any error at that specific line, it will throw error at that specific line only. It will halt the program. So this what interpreter does. It will check line by line. If there is any issue, it will halt your computer program execution. But this is not the case with compiler. Best example is Java. Best example for interpreted programming software is Python. You also have debuggers. Debuggers for debugging the code. If there is any issue, you need to check where the issue is coming. You need to debug your code. So for debugging, you need debuggers, which is a programming software. So this is what about programming softwares. Coming to application softwares. Application. How many types of applications available in the market? So if you can see, most of the people are using these mobile applications, desktop applications. Post that we also use web applications. So these are different types of applications available in the market. Mobile application, you'll just download it from iOS store or Play Store. Desktop application from Microsoft Web Store, you can just download from there. Web applications. So these are different types of applications or application softwares available in the market nowadays. So what they meant for? So when I'm talking about these application softwares, they directly serve end users. When a developer or when a company develops any application software, at the end of the day, you are using them. Best example is Microsoft Office, MS Office. Microsoft is responsible for developing that software. So as a user, as a customer, I am using that software. So they directly serve end users for performing specific task or providing services. Best example is also Gmail. You take Amazon web application, Flipkart application. They are meant for doing some business. As a vendor, I can do business. As a customer, I can just leverage for buying those products. So whether it is a mobile application, whether it is a desktop application, whether it is a web application, they directly serve end users or clients for performing specific tasks or specific services. This is what about a software. We need to know about software, types of softwares available in the market. Post this, we need to understand what is a project, what is a product, what is an error, bug, defect, and failure. Project versus product. Very, very important terminology, guys. Most of the people might not be knowing this. Project versus product. What is a project? What is a product? When I talk about project, suppose if you are working in a company, you take any service-based company. What the service-based company will do, will deploy you to work on behalf of that company to another client. So that client may be using some application. You are working for specific customer, specific client based on their requirements. Now I can say that particular software which is developed is based on the requirements of a customer, which is nothing but a project. So if I talk about project, if I write the definition about the project, so when I talk about project, it is developed. So that means when I'm saying developed, it is nothing but a software which is developed for a specific customer, based on their requirements, a software which is developed for a specific customer based on their requirements, it is called as an project. Then what is a product? This name itself says, when I am saying about washing machine is a product where I can buy. Not only me, anybody can buy, anybody can use that product. That means if a software is developed not for a specific customer but for multiple customers, where that multiple customers are present in the market. So in the market, you'll be having a lot of requirements. So based on market requirements for multiple customers, if you develop any software, I can call that as a product. Very important terminology, product. What is a product? A software which is developed for a specific customer, not for a specific customer, for multiple customers. Developed, that means software is developed for multiple customers based on market requirements, because these multiple customers are available in the market. So in the market, lot of people are there, lot of people may be having lot of requirements. I can call them simply market requirements. Market requirements. So a software, if you develop for multiple customers based on market requirements, I can call that as a product. Best example is Microsoft products. Most of the people might be using that. Coming to project, if it is a project, if you are serving for another customer based on their requirements, it is called as a project. Coming to product, for multiple customers, if you develop any software based on market requirements, it is nothing but a product. Once you understand what is a project, once you understand what is a product, whether it is a project, whether it is a product, you will develop software. It is very common, developer introduces an error in that software. You need to understand what is the difference between error, what is the difference between bug or defect, as well as failure. Let me write that. Very important terminology, error versus bug or defect. I can also call defect or bug. Bug life cycle, defect life cycle. Whenever you are doing this manual testing, most of the people might have all this bug life cycle or defect life cycle. So in that, common word is bug or defect. What is an error? What is a bug? What is the difference between these two? As well as you need to know what is a failure. What is a failure? Very important thing. As a engineer, software engineer, you need to understand these terminologies. What is an error? What is an error? When I talk about error, human action that produces incorrect result. If human enters some incorrect value, so what that system will do, system will always decides the output based on input from the user. So based on input received by the system from the human, if it is producing incorrect result, I can call that as an error. So if you can see, human action that produces an incorrect result is called as an error. So that means let me take a login application, simple any application. So in that any application, you'll be having this login logout feature. What you need to do, you need to provide your username as well as password to access that resources, that's application resources. For entering them, what you need to do, you need to provide valid inputs. If you are providing invalid inputs, that server will kick you out. That means it will not allow you to enter into that system. That means because of invalid input, that system is kicking out. It is an incorrect result. So any human action that produces incorrect result is nothing but an error. Then what is bug or defect? What is bug or defect? So when I talk about this bug or defect, this name itself says bug or defect. By common sense, I can understand. Yes, you are a customer. I agree. Based on your requirement, you have asked me to develop a functionality. Suppose what is that functionality? You have asked me to develop a calculator which is only adding two numbers. Suppose as per the customer, if he adds 2 plus 2, the result must be 4. This is what a customer requirement. But I have developed a software as per your requirement. When I use this 2 plus 2, it is giving me 5. It is giving me 5. You can see it here. This is what my expected output. As a customer, you are expecting this output. But as a developer, because of incorrectly used logic, output is getting 5. That means there is a deviation between expected output as well as actual output. Once I develop a system, this is what the output it is giving, but actually it needs to give this output. So there is a deviation between expected behavior as well as actual behavior. So any deviation between expected output, I can say expected behavior as well as actual behavior of the system is called as an defect. So deviation from behavior I can also call that as an output. Expected behavior or output. Deviation from expected behavior or output to the actual behavior, to the actual output, is called as an bug or a defect. Deviation from expected output, 2 plus 2 equal to 4. This is what my expected output, but it is giving me the actual output 2 plus 2 equal to 5. This is what an actual output, which is a deviation from expected to behavior actual. So the deviation I can call that as an bug or a defect. So in some another words, I can say if the system is not working as per user requirements, it is nothing but a bug or a defect. Yes, developer has developed, but it is not working as per expected customer requirements. So I can say it is a bug or a failure. So where you will find this particular output in the system of the system, any deviation from expected output to actual output of the system is called as a bug or a defect. Then what about this failure? Very important. Most of the people might confuse here. Most of the people will think error is equal to defect, bug is equal to failure, but internally they are different. Their definitions totally different. Their jargon is totally different. So failure, when I can say a failure, as a developer, I have developed an software or an application. Who will use that software? End user or client. If the client identifies, any issue in the system, that particular issue I can call that as a failure. So in simple words, the deviation identified by end user while using the system is called as a failure. Most of the people, if you are already working, you might be knowing this incidents or PRBs, production bugs or incidents. So production bugs, they will rise as a part of these incidents. Those incidents I can call them as failures. So the deviation identified by end user, where he identifies at the time of using that system, while using the system is called as an failure. Most of the people might be knowing this already. PRBs or incidents, in simple words I can say, but there may be difference. I'm saying that failure you can just think of like incidents or PRBs. So generally end user may identify that in production environments, production bugs. So nothing but PRBs. So that particular things I can call them as a failure. Now you already know what is a software, project, product, error versus bug, as well as failure. Now you need to understand, why do we need software testing? Yes, you have developed a software. Why you need a software? Why do we need software testing? Why do we need software testing? Why do we need software testing? When I talk about why do we need software testing, at the end of the day, when you develop any software, it is as per customer requirements. That means that software should not have any bugs. That I can say, ensure that software is bug free. Software is bug free. For ensuring the software which I have developed, to make it a bug free, I can do some testing. That testing is called as software testing. Post that, you need to check whether the software developed is meeting customer requirements as well as the software specifications or not. So ensure that system meets customer requirements, and software specifications. The customer decides, yes, you need to develop a software. That software must have these specifications. So it is also a requirement from the user, from the client. Along with functional requirements, they can also specify some software requirements, that the software needs to be developed on this so and so application, so and so platform. Like this, they will specify some specifications. So to check whether they are meeting customer requirements and software specifications, you need to do software testing. Also, customer is providing you some expectations. To check whether the software or the system meets customer expectations or not, you need software testing. Ensure that software, I can say simply system, meets end user expectations. End user expectations or not. For checking that, for ensuring that, you need software testing. You need software testing. And one more important point, most of the companies will be having their softwares in the market. There are a lot of competitors available in the market. Suppose if the product is a buggy, after releasing, the market of the customers will transfer from one company to another company. Suppose you can take off Microsoft. Microsoft is using or has given a lot of products to the customers. Suppose if a customer thinks that Microsoft product is a buggy, what the customer base will just shift from Microsoft. You can take off cloud, Azure cloud to GCP cloud, nothing but Google cloud. Post that, it can also shift to AWS. Like for a single product which is from a specific company, will have a lot of competitors in the market. Once you develop any software, definitely it must be a bug free or a defect free. If it is a bug, what you need to do again, it needs to be fixed by developer. It needs to be tested by QA. Post that business, post that production deployment. So these are all the things will happen in between at the time of fixing the bug, which will cost company enormously. So costing to the company, that means he has to pay to an employee. He has to accept that market failure, because of that market failure, huge customers will try to unsubscribe to that specific company. So lot of business damage will be occurred. That means fixing the bugs identified after release is more expensive. Very, very, very important. This is what the point. Fixing the bugs identified after release is more expensive. That means business needs to accept lot of market damage, as well as he has to spend more time for fixing these bugs. So that is the reason fixing the bugs identified after release is more expensive. To avoid this, we need software testing. So these are different types of things why we need software testing. Once you understand why do we need software testing, it's time to understand what is software testing. Yes, you might be knowing all this stuff, but what is software testing? What is software testing? What is software testing? See, this name itself says any of the concept you can learn from the name. By seeing that name, by understanding that name, you can understand anything. What it is trying to say to us, trying to communicate to us. That means I can say, what is a software testing? It's an activity. It's an activity to check a software. So what that software will give you? Results. to check the results, whether the actual results given by the software matching expected results or not. To ensure that, you need software testing. Along with ensuring the results, you need to also say that the system is a defect free. For that, you do software testing. That means it's an activity. Software testing, software testing is an activity. It's an activity. So why you need this activity? To check, to check, to check whether actual results match the expected results, For checking whether the results of the system are matching, whether it is actual as well as expected, as I have said. So when I am saying about a bug or a defect, it should not have in the system. That means you need to check what is the output between actual as well as expected. If it is a deviation, it is a bug. So for checking all these aspects along with bug, defect, error, failure, you need software testing. So it's an activity, in simple words, to check whether actual results match the expected results, and to ensure that system is a defect free is called as an software testing. It's an activity. Nothing but you can think of like a process. It's an activity or a process to check whether actual results matching with the expected results. If they are matching, definitely that system will not be having any bug, any defect. To ensure that it is defect free or a bug free, I need to do software testing. It's an activity. Also, when you do software testing, you will get to know whether there are errors or gaps or missing requirements. So in simple words, it helps to identify errors, gaps, and missing requirements. So you already know gaps. That means when I am saying gaps, let me tell you with the help of these particular requirements. A customer has given you 100 requirements. At the very beginning, most of the people, since at the very beginning we will develop MVP, minimum viable product. So we'll not be able to develop all the requirements in one shot. So we will follow again a framework where we will take each and every feature and we will just implement that in sprints or iterations. Now, if the customer has given you 100 requirements, you have developed an MVP. Post that MVP, minimum viable product, you will be able to develop all the requirements. So once a software is fully developed, you need to check if is there any gap between the requirements which is given by customer or developed by a developer. So to identify those gaps or missing requirements or errors, you need software testing. If you do software testing, you will get to know all these informations. If there are any errors in the software, if there are any gaps between the actual requirements as well as implemented requirements, post MVP, you need software testing. Once you know what is software testing, how you can do this software testing. To do this software testing, there are two ways. Most of the people might be knowing it can be done. It can be done manually as well as or by using automation tools. Very, very important. Most of the people might already be knowing this. Any software, if you want to test, you can do it by using manually or by using automation tools. So whatever you automate a process which you are doing in manually, that is nothing but an automation. The person who does automation is nothing but test automation engineer, QA, or I can say associate consultant. There are a lot of designations. So based on the skill. So when I talk about this software, it can be done manually or by using automation tools. Now we will discuss where you can leverage these automation tools. But before that, you need to understand some more types of testing or levels of testing. So how many levels? In how many levels you will do software testing? Yes, you know what is software testing. Why you need software testing? In how many levels you do software testing. So most of the people might be knowing this. Once you will get the requirement, developer will start implementing, will start developing that requirement. So at the very beginning, once developer develops any software, he does unit testing. First level of testing in software development is nothing but unit testing. Unit testing. So what is unit testing? Testing individual component. Testing individual component is called as an unit testing. When I am saying individual component, it is nothing but a single feature, a single module. I can say it's a single functionality also. I can say it's an individual component. Testing individual component is called as an unit testing. When I talk about another type of testing, another level of testing, integration testing. Integration testing. So what is this integration testing? This name itself says integrate. Integrate is nothing but combine all the individual components at one place. All the individual components at one place. If you integrate and if you do testing, that particular testing is called as integration testing. That means in simple words, testing integrated component. Integrated component is called as an integration testing. Now, what about this system testing? So when I talk about this system testing, so this name itself says a system. Once you develop the complete software, once you develop complete software, that software is nothing but a system. So testing the entire system is called as an system testing. So system testing is nothing but testing entire system. Testing entire system is called as an system testing. Very important levels of testing, guys. Unit testing, integration testing, system testing. At last, once you provide sign off to this system, nothing but QA people, lower environment people, business people will come into picture. That particular testing, I can call that as an UAT testing, user acceptance testing. In simple words, I can say acceptance testing. Acceptance testing. So what this acceptance testing means, testing the final system once we provide sign off. That means we as a QA or we as an automation test engineer, you will just perform system testing. Once you provide sign off, that same system is deployed to another lower environment, nothing but UAT environment. So once it is deployed to UAT environment, business people will come into picture. Business people will come into picture. That type of testing performed by business people is called as a UAT testing, or in simple words, I can say acceptance testing. So here also what these business people will do, business people will test entire system or final system. Fine, I can say simply there is a difference between entire or final. So if there is any issue, again it will be resolved at system testing. Once it is resolved, you will get the final product. So if you do testing on the final product, I can say it is acceptance testing. Who performs this acceptance testing? Business people, UAT people, user acceptance testing. So business people will involved in this type of testing. It is a last level of testing as a part of software testing. Now, once you know how many levels of testing, so generally in system testing, again we have types. So if you can see it here, types of system testings, types of system testing. So what are the different types of levels are different, guys? Levels are different, types are different. Levels are different, types of tests are different. So once you develop a software, from starting to delivering of that particular software, you will do some levels of testing. That is nothing but unit, integration, system, as well as acceptance testing. So testing entire system. So as a part of testing the entire system, you need to take care of different type of testings. Those different types of testings, I can say types of system testings which you will be perform at this level. So system testing level, you will perform these type of testing. So you have different types of system testing. So what are the different type of system testings? GUI testing. GUI testing. Post GUI testing, you will do this usability testing. Usability testing. Usability testing. You will also do functional testing, very very important, functional testing, as well as non-functional testing, non-functional testing. So these types are available in the third level of testing, nothing but system testing. What is GUI testing? So this name itself says GUI is called as an graphical user interface, or I can say user interface. So if you perform testing on this level, on this user interface, it is nothing but GUI testing. So what you will do as a part of this GUI testing, you will just perform clicking buttons, checking if the layout is correct or not, making sure all the buttons, icons, screen in the software looks and work as they are expected or not. You will do as a part of GUI or UI testing. When I talk about usability testing, this name itself says usable. So at the end of the day, when you develop any software or system, it needs to be simply usable by the client, to make sure if the software is easy for people to use and understand. For ensuring that, for checking that, you need usability testing. So at the end of the day, even laymen, those who don't know about that software, needs to use that software very very easily. For checking that, for ensuring that, you need this usability testing. Coming to functional testing, this name itself says functional. Functional means you will have a lot of functionalities, lot of features developed in the system. If you want to check whether the respective functionality or functionality in functional functions in total, if they are working or not, you do functional testing. You do functional testing. So as a part of this, what you will do, you will verify each part of the software whether it is performing its job correctly or not, like testing if login, search and other operations are working as expected or not. Coming to non-functional testing, let me make you understand with one scenario. There is a big e-commerce application, like you can take of Amazon, Flipkart or eBay, any of the big e-commerce applications. So there will be big billion days during, sometimes if there is any occasions like festivals, or if there are any occasions, they will be having some big billion days. So during big billion days, lot of customer traffic will hit that application. That means most of the customers, lot of customers, lakhs of customers at the same time will be logging into that application randomly from different parts of the world. So if a single customer logs into that application, if it is working as expected and not breaking any functionality, the same system should work as expected, even though lakhs of customers log in into that system at the same time. So to ensure that, even though if multiple customers is accessing that application, it is not breaking any functionality of the application, to ensure that you will do non-functional testing. This name itself says non-functional, non-functional. So as a part of this, you'll be having different type of testing. So if you can, if I can write it here, so if you can see, most of the people might be knowing this performance testing. Performance testing. I'll be not going into detail of this non-functional testing. Load testing, stress testing, stress testing. Also you have security testing. Security testing. Nowadays most of the applications are prone to cyber security. To ensure that whether it is not prone to any cyber attacks, you do cyber security, security testing. So like this, you'll be having lot of testings as a part of non-functional testing, to ensure that the system is not breaking if lot of huge customer traffic is hitting the system. Coming to functional testing, right now we have seen, so unit testing is also a functional testing. It's a component testing, smoke testing. So generally, if there is no time, if you want to give sign off to the system within no time, you will do smoke testing. You will do sanity testing. You will do sanity testing. You will do regression testing. You will do regression testing. So these are different types of etc. There are a lot of testings as well you'll be having as a part of this functional testing. So these are different levels of testing. In the third level, you have this type of testing like GUI testing or UI testing, usability testing, functional testing, as well as non-functional testing. Once you know how to do these type of testings, as I have said, testing can be done manually as well as by using automation tools. Why you need to go for automation tools? You tell me, guys, in simple words. By common thing, most of the people you might be knowing this. You are using a bicycle. There is an issue in the bicycle. What is an issue? Every time you need to spend your energy to move from one place to another place. But if it is a scooty or a bike, I can just try to start that. I can just try to give the acceleration without any energy spending. I can move from one place to another place, that too within no time. So if bicycling takes 1 hour, I can just reach to that respective destination within 10 minutes or 15 minutes. So whatever you are doing manually, if you want to reduce the time and energy, you will automate that. So what are the challenges in manual testing? So that you will go for automation testing with the help of automation tools. You need to understand what are the challenges in manual testing. So when I talk about challenges in manual testing, most of the times it is very boring. Along with boring, you also feel it is time consuming. Also, it is very difficult if you are doing anything which is a corner scenario, or if you are covering that particular functionality which is taking a lot of time, you feel that very difficult. So it is tedious. Also, manual testing is done by humans. Humans can do mistakes. Like, there is a chance of getting mistakes or errors in doing this manual testing. Also, you need to do retesting. So if you raise any bug, if the bug is fixed, you need to do retesting. Along with retesting, you need to do regression testing. Very important terminology, guys. Retesting as well as regression. When I talk about retesting, as well as when I talk about this regression testing, QA people might need to spend a lot of time in doing retesting as well as regression testing. So these are two important areas where manual testing is very difficult, very time consuming, very boring. So you need to avoid these challenges in manual testing so that you will go for automation testing. So before going to see how an automation tool works, you need to understand what is a retesting. So when I talk about retesting, here two definition comes. Once you raise a bug, if it is fixed, you need to test that particular bug. So this scenario is nothing but retesting. You are just checking that particular bug fix again. Nothing but you are just testing that functionality which you have raised that bug again and again. So this is nothing but retesting. And there is one more definition as well. So if you are executing or if you are checking same functionality multiple times with multiple times, nothing but when I am saying multiple times with multiple sets of data, it is also called as an retesting. So execute same test case. At the end of the day, you will write a test case. You will execute that particular test case, which is having some a lot of wide variety of scenarios on the same executing same test case by giving number of inputs. When I am saying number of inputs, it is nothing but input is nothing but a data here. You are just checking the same functionality of the same build, executing same test case by giving number of inputs is called as an retesting. So where you will execute the same test case, where you will give inputs on the same build. So this type of testing is called as an retesting. When I talk about regression testing, let me make you understand with one example. Let me take a Gmail application. So when I talk about this Gmail application, you have different modules like inbox module, spam module, sent items. You also have delete items. Like this, you'll be having a lot of modules side by side working integrated in one place. Nothing but you can call that particular with some name, nothing but Gmail. Suppose if there is a bug, in the spam folder, so what you have done, you have raised this bug. So developer fixed this bug and deployed to QA environment, nothing but lower environment. So after deploying to lower environment, QA people will test that bug. If the bug is not working as expected, if the bug is not fixed, then again tester will assign that same bug to developer saying that it is not fixed with some proofs. Now, if that bug is fixed, what you need to do, you need to retest that bug. So that particular testing is called as retesting. Now, along with retesting, you need to do regression testing. What is regression testing? You just try to understand with this example. You are testing the bug in the spam module. If a bug fix in the spam module is disturbing the functionalities or the features in inbox module or sent items module or delete module, to ensure that a bug fix in one area is not disturbing other areas, to make sure that you need regression testing. That means when I talk about this regression testing, it's a type of software testing. It's a type of software testing. Executed to check whether a code change in one module is not disturbing other modules, or not disturbing another modules. Very important, guys. There is very huge difference between retesting as well as regression testing. Regression testing is also type of software testing. What it will check whether a code change in one module is not disturbing features in another modules. So this is nothing but regression testing. So as a tester, as a QA engineer, you need to spend a lot of time in doing this retesting as well as regression testing. To avoid this, you'll go for automation. So to do automation, there are a lot of tools available in the market, but as a part of this particular course, we will use Selenium. Why we use Selenium? So let me take a simple example here. So we can see, let me search for Selenium market share. If you see, guys, you take any of that particular topic, you'll get to know. You can see it here. Selenium is having a market share of almost 29%. It is having highest market share. Not only market share, most of the companies is using this because it's a free and open source tool. Companies will have a mindset. They don't want to spend any rupee on any tool. That is what companies mindset. So most of the companies, if they are using any tool, that is an open source tool only. So they need no need to pay any amount. It should not be a paid tool. So if that is the case, then most of the companies will use that particular tool. As a part of automation testing, there are a lot of tools, guys. There is Playwright, Cypress, Catalan Studio, Tosca. All those are paid tools. To some extent, they are free. If you want to leverage all the features, you need to pay some upfront amount. But coming to Selenium, which is have a large market share, you can integrate that Selenium with different types of language bindings, whether it is Python, Java, Selenium, C#, Ruby, and even though it is right now, it is growing to another languages as well. You can use this particular tool, so which is already using in the current market. So to do testing, automation testing, you will use a tool. That tool must be an open source tool, and no company should pay any upfront amount. So which tool accepts that particular features? Selenium. If you see, Selenium is having a market share of 29%. So as a part of this particular course, we'll be learning this Selenium. And let me show you that how you can work with an automation tool. So if you can see it here, guys, generally for every feature, before development, you will write a test case, nothing but manual test case. The test case will be having some test steps, step by step. At the end of the day, once that build is ready, you will execute these particular test steps as a part of this manual test case one by one on this build. So if you execute one by one with the help of our hands, nothing but human, if human executes this test case on AUT, it is nothing but manual execution. So to avoid this, you will do automation. How this automation tool works? The same test case, which is having some test steps, you will just replace that steps with code. Nothing but with the help of code, nothing but Selenium with language binding code, you will write some automation script. When you write some automation script, when you execute that script, it will execute on that application. Let me show you one simple example. Let me show you. This is what for previous batches we have been covering. Let me show you that how it is executed. If you can see it here, guys, it is taking some time. Give me some time. Let me show you that how it is executing. If you can see, this is what for previous batches we have been covering. Let me show you that exception handling, locate is stable. Yeah, this is what the first test case. So test case will contain test steps. These are all the test steps, guys. You will execute these test steps manually on the AUT, application under test. Now at the end of the day, to represent them as a part of automation script, you will write that automation script. This is what the simple automation script which we have written for converting this manual test case to automation test script. So at the end of the day, we will execute this automation script on this application. Let me show you that how you can execute. Very, very easy, very simple as well. Once you know Python, it is very simple to work with this automation tool. I'm just executing this, guys. Don't worry if you don't understand anything. We have not even started anything. You can see login test passed. What I am doing, I'm just checking login functionality of an application by entering username and password. Once I enter username and password, this is what another step. You can see manual step. Click on login. Yes, the same I have been replicated here with the help of script. After logging in, I need to check whether I can say it is having the title is this or not. It is expected. Well, what is the actual title? You need to capture that and you need to check whether it is working as expected or not. This is what a simple test case which we have automated. So an automation tool with the help of automation script will convert manual steps to automation script, and this automation script at the end of the day will be executed on that AUT. As a part of automation, we will use Selenium. What is the use of a Selenium? What is Selenium first of all? It's a free open source. When I'm saying free and open source, anybody can use that. As well as open source, anybody can see its code. Anybody can see its code, how it is implemented. Let me show you that as well. You need to know as a part of this particular course how the code is also implemented. So if you can see it here, guys, let me show you that. So you'll be having virtual environment here. We'll be having libraries, site packages. You can see this is what the site package. You can see Selenium package, WebDriver. So suppose if I want to execute my test scripts, definitely you need to have Chrome package. So you can see this is what the source which they have implemented. You can see it here with the help of classes, object-oriented programming principles, constructors. They have implemented this particular course. That means you are able to see the code by which this automation tool has been implemented. So that type of behavior, I can say it is an open source. Along with open source, it is very, very free. You can leverage community. There are a lot of huge community for Selenium. If you get any doubt, they will resolve it immediately. So Selenium is a free automated testing suite. When I'm saying suite or suite, it's a collection of tools with respect to Selenium, not with respect to test cases. I'm talking with respect to Selenium. So Selenium is a collection of a testing suite of web applications across different browsers and different platforms. When you write this automation script, not only in Windows, you can execute the same script in Linux, in Mac also. So which makes it platform independent, as well as you can just check this application on different browsers, whether it can be Edge, Microsoft, Safari. Opera is not supported from the recent versions onwards. Chrome, Firefox, on different browsers, on different web applications. If you want to test applications, web applications, you need this software, Selenium testing tool, automation tool. So all the features are available in this Selenium automation tool. Testing done using Selenium tool is called as an Selenium testing. As I have said, Selenium is not a single tool. It's a combination of tools. Selenium IDE, integrated development environment, remote control RC, WebDriver. So 99% nowadays all the companies are using this as WebDriver, and we also have Selenium Grid. So if you see this hierarchy, Selenium suite at the very beginning is have 4 components: RC, WebDriver, IDE, Grid. From the Selenium 2 onwards, RC and WebDriver has been merged, and we have Selenium 2, Selenium 3 and Selenium 4 in the market. So if you can search for Selenium, I'm just searching for Selenium, I'm just clicking on this link. So if you can see, once you click on this Selenium WebDriver or downloads, once you click on downloads, you can see it here. Right now, the version in the market is 4 version, 4.xx version. So right now, Selenium RC and WebDriver are combined. We have got Selenium 2, Selenium 3, as well as in the market, Selenium 4 is currently running. So this is what a combination of tools, nothing but Selenium suite. Selenium WebDriver, which we are learning as a part of this particular course, which is widely used in an IT industry, is having more market share. Now, as I have said, Selenium is not a single tool. It's a collection of tools, nothing but Selenium suite. Selenium IDE, integrated development environment. It's an Chrome or Firefox extension. At the very beginning, when Selenium came into market, this IDE was present. So what it will do, it will just create simple test cases, not complex test cases. At the end of the day, you need to create complex test cases, not simple test cases. If it is a simple test case, I can do it manually. Then what is the use of this automation? So at the very beginning, you have this Selenium IDE. Selenium RC, remote control, nothing but Selenium 1. It uses programming language for creating complex test cases. So RC and WebDriver, which is a newer breakthrough, allows test script to directly communicate to the browser. This we will learn even more in detail when we start Selenium sessions. We will see the architecture as well, how it is able to communicate to the browser as well. Very important area you need to understand. Post that, you also have Selenium Grid. So in Selenium Grid, what we will do, once you develop your automation script, you need to execute that automation script in multiple areas, like different browsers, different operating system. To execute that in different browsers and operating system parallelly, you need Selenium Grid. So Selenium suite, it's a combination of tools, and Selenium WebDriver is one of the tool in the Selenium suite. So as I have said, RC and WebDriver has been merged from Selenium 2 onwards. What are the advantages of using Selenium? As I have said, it's a pure open source tool. Supports variety of languages, not only one single language. If you see here, C#, Ruby, Java, JavaScript, Python, with all these languages, you can interact with Selenium. Many operating system it supports, many browsers, you can integrate that with Jenkins or Hudson's or Azure pipelines as well. In my company, we are using Azure pipelines, so which is nothing but like a Jenkins. So for continuous integration, so you can integrate this Selenium with other open source tools for supporting other features. Suppose if you want to test, if you want to do some mobile app testing, you can integrate that with Appium, so that it will perform mobile app testing. So it can be integrated with third-party tools also. So Selenium can be used for Android, iPhone, BlackBerry based application testing. You can also do mobile app testing. Any tool or any system once developed will have disadvantages. What are the disadvantages of Selenium, using Selenium? So only limited disadvantages, but you can make them as advantages if you combine with third-party tools. So we can use Selenium only to test web applications. One of the most important interview questions where most of the people will fail here only. When an interviewer asks you whether Selenium can do desktop testing, it cannot be possible to do desktop testing. Selenium is only meant for UI testing, user interface testing, nothing but web application testing. So there is no guaranteed support for Selenium. So even though there is no guaranteed support, there are a lot of rich communities where if you post any doubt, any of the people in the community can resolve your doubt. And one more thing, you cannot perform testing on images. We need to integrate securely for image-based testing. As I have said, Selenium can alone cannot do image-based testing. For doing that, you need to use securely. Generally, in lower environments, what we will do, we'll ask a developer to shut down them. We'll not we don't want this image-based testing at the lower environments. If you are having in that application, generally you can do it by manual testing. If there is any scenario, if you want to automate that, you need to integrate that with securely. This is what image-based testing library. As well as I have said, Selenium by natively cannot support reports. Once you execute any automation script, you can only see the result in the console. Once you execute this automation script, so it will not generate any reports. To generate reports, you need to integrate that with frameworks like PyTest as well as TestNG or JUnit. As a part of this course, we will discuss this PyTest, which is mostly used with respect to Python. If it is Java, TestNG is mostly used, or JUnit. Like if it is a .NET application, you will use NUnit. So with respect to Python, we will use this PyTest. This is what about overview on automation as well as Selenium. If I talk about the syllabus, so as a part of this Selenium with Python course, this course is divided into 8 modules. What is an automation, Python programming, core Python programming as well as advanced Python programming we will cover. Post that, we'll start this Selenium WebDriver, PyTest. We need to generate reports from the PyTest. We'll just try to see in the 6th module. We'll discuss about this automation frameworks. When I talk about this automation framework, we'll discuss this robot framework. So I have not specified that in the syllabus. I will update the syllabus. I will circulate with you. Robot framework along with PyTest. PyTest is one framework. Robot framework is another framework. So we'll also discuss this robot framework along with PyTest. Very, very important. So along with these frameworks, we'll also see this CI/CD, continuous integration, like how you can integrate that with Jenkins, how you can use this Git or GitHub as well. Along with that, which is not specified here, is Docker. Before Docker, we need to discuss this Selenium grid. We'll also discuss this Selenium grid. So these are the 3 topics along with the syllabus content in this material. We will discuss that going ahead. So you will get 2.5. It's almost 8 to 10 weeks of training. It's not 6 weeks. I need to modify this. You will get 10 weeks of automation course training along with 8 hours of weekly training. When I'm saying weekdays, it is 5 days. So yeah, you can interact with me anytime, not only during the sessions, post the sessions. I will share you my mail ID. You can interact with me if you have any doubts, and you will also get these recorded sessions along with comprehensive materials. Whatever we teach, will give you the material. So this is what the syllabus I can circulate with you. You can see what are the topics, individual topics, subtopics, which we will be discussing once I share it with you. OOPS concepts, Selenium WebDriver, locators, lot of stuff, guys. PyTest, frameworks. You will see that going ahead. Also, we will discuss how you can use ChatGPT. Nowadays, AI is becoming more and more, going into the industry. You need to know how you can use, how you can leverage ChatGPT in your automation testing as well. At last, we will discuss this. At the very beginning, if I make you understand this, you will use this ChatGPT, which will make your life very very difficult. At last, I will make you understand how you can use this ChatGPT as well. This is what about syllabus. This is what about duration. All the things which we are going to learn as a part of this course. Robot framework, you will learn Selenium Grid, Docker, as well as ChatGPT. So CA/CD nowadays is very very important. Without that, we will not wind up the session. Along with the real-time project, also you will implement that CA/CD pipelines.